What's the most savage response that you've ever got that you actually thought, like, the person had a point? Have you read one where, like, you kind of go, oh, yeah, maybe you're right?
Oh, there was a guy on TikTok this week who said that Jeter deserved to be on that all-time overrated list. And then, kind of gave me a description, and I was like, I didn't realize that there were so many people in that camp and that they had valid points.
They don't have valid points.
Is not as good as Ryan Sandberg.
Is he better than Mark Grace, though? That is the question.
Like, honestly, I am dead serious.
I'm also dead serious. I'm worried about your guys' mental health right now.
I don't believe, well, I know it's a stretch to say the Grace thing, but
here's the thing. You also have to keep in mind, Michael say that because he gets sucked in to what sports media tells him. This is the same guy that thinks Joe Mauer's really good. He thinks Jeter's really good. He thinks Kirk Cousins is great. So, like, take it with a grain of salt, I guess.
Yeah, it's but did you see that play where he caught it and then he like backhand flipped it to the catcher? Oh my God! People act like that's the most incredible fucking play that they've ever seen. It's like, it's a good play. He just benefits from this magical, everyone's in wonderment around him because he's good looking in New York.
When you see a shortstop go backhand, jump, and throw to first, who do you think of first?
Not Derek Jeter, if that's what you're setting me up for.
Who do you think of first?
I mean, that's my childhood, so obviously
Who do you think of? Jeter. Okay, thank you.
That doesn't make him
an entire... I'm not saying he's the greatest shortstop. Don't put words in my mouth. But to say that he's overrated, like...
He's not top 10 in anything.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think he's top 20 in anything. Like, I mean, all time.
I think he was he managed to be just slightly above average for an above average player for the longest period of time.
Do you know what he was really good at?
What?
Being good looking and in New York.
He's like LeBron. He gets some of the same shine that LeBron gets.
Career 310 batter.
Oh, Mark Grace 306. Whatever.
71 WAR over his career.
Bonds was way better.
7.1 WAR.
71.
What's 7? Huh?
71 career WAR. 71 games.
Oh, wins when they added
above replacement.
Wins above replacement.
What does that mean for his average per year, though? Would you say? How many years did he?
It's a 20-year career, isn't it?
So, like a WAR of like 0.3.
3.3.
That's not great.
It's actually pretty decent.
3.3 is decent.
3.3 is decent, but MVP caliber players are 5 and above consistently.
And by the way, Ryan Sandberg, I guarantee if you look back, his 1984 year, 1987 year, all with, I bet, WARs of 5 or greater. I'd like to see what Jeter's highest WAR year is. God, we might have another showdown with a...
Sandberg was a 285 career hitter, though.
Sandberg? Yeah. Well, he did hang on a little bit too long, maybe. And he, by the way, divorce ravaged his career like someone else I know.
I would appreciate it if you wouldn't air my dirty laundry on the show here, okay?
I was actually referring to myself, but that's...
Me and you are just statistics at this point, Gabe.
Jeter had a higher on-base percentage, more stolen bases, more RBIs.
He hit in a little league ballpark his entire career.
Also, how does a little league ballpark incorporate into your stolen base numbers in any way, shape, or form?
Career numbers too, by the way. He played a lot longer, so you can't just go,
True. But then, I mean, that's an argument for him. Longevity does matter.
Yeah, I suppose if you're hiding in a protected lineup of...
overpaid steroid users.
And I guess I thought this would be obvious, but I didn't say anything to you, so sorry. But we've been ready to go.
Oh.
And have been for quite some time, sorry.
Sorry, folks. We
had to start it off with an argument.
Yeah.
I love that shit.
All right, so Gabe, are you ready in the back?
Yes, sir.
Mike, are you ready up here?
I'm ready.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Glass Half Sports. It is June 9th, 2021. On this beautiful Minnesota Thursday, we are glad to have you as always. We have a big show for you. I'm one half of your hosting duties, Nick Huffman, as always joined by my faithful co-host, Mike Mensing. How you doing, buddy? How's the hip feel?
I'm doing well. Getting a little old, but not so old that it won't heal.
Mike's got one square wheel this week, folks. He's operating at about half capacity physically. So
this is true. This is what one night in the outfield of beer league softball does to me. I need to be in the infield. Yeah, I can't move.
Mike needs to be a first baseman. Like Miguel Cabrera these days just doesn't move too well.
Correct.
So I got a big show for you guys. Mike, what do we have in store for the folks?
Yeah, as always, guys, we have a big show for you. Talking Twins is going to kick us off. Unfortunately, we had to cancel the Toby Gardenhire interview.
But he did have his baby over the last day or so. So congratulations to another generation of Gardenhire gracing the Minnesota area. We love that.
So hopefully we'll get him next week or the week after that. But congratulations to him and the whole Gardenhire family. So yeah, we're going to kick off with Talking Twins instead. We'll do our NBA Finals check-in. It's looking decent for the Celtics right now. We'll switch on over to the AFC East for our NFL predictions, and then we'll end with Hot Corner.
That's right. And then, Mike, what platform can they find us on if they just wanted to share this with their friends, which is part of being, a positive piece of society these days?
Definitely. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Spotify, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon as well.
Oh, we have some news about our Patreon as well, by the way. It is up and running and attached. I know that it took us 51 episodes to get there, but we are up and live on Patreon, which will lead us right into what we have going on next week. For our 1-year anniversary, we will be doing a no news episode. We might touch on some topical things, but that's only if you drop them as questions into our Patreon. Go ahead and subscribe. We will take care of answering any questions that come through that channel during the week, and we're going to be doing a lot of fun topics like you've seen us do on TikTok recently, most overrated, most underrated, who would you rather, some number segments, just a little bit more free-flowing sports conversation. So you guys, after a year of watching the show, can get to know me and Mike a little bit better in our background and opinions on sports of the past, since we do seem to get bogged down in the news here every once in a while, and I am looking forward to that. How about you?
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Let's go. And then I think they can find us on cable too, right?
Yeah, MCN 6 Saturdays at more than likely 10 p.m.
I've already cussed in the intro, so yeah, just
10 p.m. We're
10
late
p.m. on MCN 6, which you can also watch on Roku, and then we can get right into it.
Yeah,
with Twins
talk.
Talk.
Some Twins.
Surprised a little bit with the Minnesota Twins stealing 2 games from Toronto. Would love to have gotten that third, but the guy that Mike wanted to give away for a washing machine and a bag of potato chips went and had a like Cy Young caliber outing
start already. Huh? We're gonna do
so Barrios had an absolute shutdown game, but other than
his
that,
first one all year. Congratulations to him.
Oh, trust me, he's on my fantasy baseball team. I know
that
how bad
sucks for your fantasy baseball team.
I know.
You know what his WAR is this year, Gabe?
What?
-0.2.
He's a pitcher. He doesn't play every day.
Awful. He has a 5.24 ERA.
Well, back to the Twins, though. Were you surprised that they were able to steal 2 away from Toronto, especially with, Emilio Pagan and, Carlos Correa being on the COVID list and some of the guys not being able to go, just different things like that, still getting 2 games from a really, really solid roster?
Yeah. The whole Toronto COVID thing makes me think about Toronto's home record in a little bit different light.
Yeah.
Are they as good as their record shows? Maybe not.
Okay.
Maybe. I'm not going to discredit them either. But they are playing weaker ball clubs at home. And yeah, definitely with our, roster being somewhat limited going into Toronto with the Canada COVID rules.
Yeah.
I was somewhat glass half empty going into that series. And honestly, the only thing that was really surprising was that we didn't get a win against Barrios.
I was not surprised.
He has an ERA
it's a
over
revenge
5.
game for a Minnesota player. Duh.
It's revenge for all the hitters that he's facing as well, though, in a way. Like,
true.
They know him very well. But yeah, it's great that we got out of Canada with 2 games in our belt.
Yeah, we love that. And then, kind of coming into the Yankees game, the 2 games that we've played so far against the Yankees, one absolute clunker dud. And then last night, Correa returns to the lineup. And
Yankees could say the same thing for last night. Just an absolute clunker dud. So,
and we played, for a team, shout out to Nash Walker for dropping this ahead of the Yankees series. Out of the last 162 games leading into this week's series, the Twins were 43 for 162 against the Yanks since 2003. That's really, really bad. So for them to win ever against the Yankees, thumbs up.
Yeah, just the matchup itself doesn't bode super well for the Twins typically, because the Twins, going back as far as I can remember, have always had a pitch to contact staff.
Yes.
Speed on the bases and decent contact.
Yeah.
The Yankees bring power.
And power arms.
basically that
And
matchup
bankroll.
is not and typically really good fielding. So our contact and speed doesn't bode as well. We don't steal that run or two that we would against an average team.
Yeah.
And typically that matchup bodes extremely poor for the Twins.
Yeah.
But over the last 2-3 years, we've become a little bit more of a powerhouse hitting team as well, the Bomba squad. And I think we saw it last night. Cortez gave up 2 homers in the 5th and was pulled, and we got him out early. It bodes well for the Twins to get into the Yankees bullpen.
And you can tell the difference, both in Toronto and against the Yankees so far. You can tell the difference in the Twins lineup when Buxton specifically is able to put pressure on starting pitchers early. Over the last 7 games, he's hitting .292. And that pressure, get to the bullpen earlier, get out to an early lead, steal a base, set Polanco up to be in better hitting situations. His impact is truly probably one of the most domino effect style impacts in the MLB with how he plays. And when he's playing well, the Twins are first round of the playoff, winning a series caliber good. When he's bad, they're middle of the pack for a baseball team. I am truly starting to believe that.
Yeah, I mean, he's the catalyst, right? We knew that in the offseason.
Yes.
And because he is the catalyst, it's all dependent on how many games he plays. So do we have him for the playoffs or not is going to be the big thing, because
we can hope so.
As of right now, what I see this Twins team doing is what Twins teams do best. Possibly win the division. Possibly win the division. If not, definitely a wild card team.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose in the first round because we're better than most, but nowhere near as good as the best.
You can't tell. We have the longest active losing playoff streak in American sports right now. That has to end this year.
You think it's going to end with the Minnesota Twins?
Yes.
Okay.
It has to end this. No, the Minnesota Twins have the longest active losing playoff stretch in American sports.
So you think that they're just going to win a playoff game?
A playoff game. One playoff game. Joe Ryan will get it done.
Odds are technically in your favor, so I'll agree with you.
All right. So before we get to the week that is to come, we should probably get to our top twin.
Yeah.
Who'd you have this week?
Honestly, I had Buck, to be completely honest with you.
Okay.
Just to see him playing as much as he is, like you said, he is the catalyst. 2 for 4 yesterday. He's being picky at the plate as well. Had the home run 2 days ago. He's walking as well, which is going to put pressure on that pitching with his speed on the base paths. It's fun to see him healthy and be an impact player the way that we know he can.
Cool. I wouldn't disagree with you, but I'm going to read some numbers off to you over the last 7 days. Are you ready?
I could have picked Arise again too. I just want to say
that's fair. I'm not even going to pick that guy.
All right.
Are you ready? So I'm going to read some numbers off to you. 6 runs scored, 10 hits, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs, batting .340. Could you guess that Twins player?
Mm-mm.
It's Miranda Mania over the last 7 days. Listen, he got sent down, and I think he took it personally because this second opportunity for him to come up this year and show out, he's getting the job done, and he's fielding pretty well, to boot. But his contributions at the plate, both in Toronto and now against New York, have been mind-boggling. I think he's in his rhythm now, and the more he plays like this, the more playing time he's going to get, which, if we go back to our conversation from last week, is only going to lead more to that thought of, okay, what's Urshela's true value? It's going to be a trade piece at the deadline if Miranda continues to play like this, because he'll solidify himself as the young third baseman that you can play 5 days out of 7 in the week and not have to pay a ton of money to, and then bring in another pitcher for a playoff run. That, in my opinion, is how this is trending. So my top twin of the week is going to Jose Miranda. Give me some Miranda mania, baby. Let's go.
I love it.
Let us know what you guys think and who you guys had as a top twin. We'd love to hear from you guys in the comments for sure. And then the week to come, Mike, we got, a couple games one more game against the Yankees, and then
3 against Tampa, 3 at Seattle.
All right. How do you think it's going to
go? It would be very, very nice to win a series against the Yankees.
It would be very nice to win a series against the Yankees.
But I believe they also have Garrett Cole, and we have Dylan Bundy.
Oh, yeah.
going,
No.
So
chalk it up don't even need to play.
See, I was okay. So I was actually arguing with somebody on Facebook about this on the Minnesota Twins fan page that we're on. And their post was that they were mad at Rocco Baldelli for not putting in a better bullpen guy when we were down by 1 run in the first game. And Rocco came out in the paper and said, I'm going to use my best bullpen pitchers when we're up. I'm not going to waste them when we're down.
Okay.
I totally agreed with it. And
well, of course you are. It came from Minnesota sports media.
This person was saying our best chance to win was game 1 because Cortez and then Cole in game 3.
Yeah.
And my comment was, you cannot have your manager counting your team out of games before they even start.
I agree with that.
You got to just play the game. You play 162 of them for a reason. The Yankees have lost 16 games. They're not perfect.
They're pretty damn fucking close.
We just beat them yesterday. So it's very possible. It's why you play the game. So I'd say be picky at the plate. Try to get Garrett Cole's pitch numbers high. I mean, the odds are probably in the Yankees' favor, though. So I'll go Yankees there. It'd be really nice. I'm going to say we take 2 out of 3 against Tampa. And I'll say 1 out of 3 in Seattle. That's a tough one. So I'm going to say 3 to 4 wins.
Yeah, I think we lose tonight against the Yanks. It's the Yanks. Garrett Cole is a problem. Now, he has had a couple clunker starts this year where he's only made it to like 2 1/3 innings.
Less clunker starts than Jose Barrios, but you are correct.
You're never going to let me live that down, are you? But, against the Rays, not super afraid of them. Shane Baz really doesn't look like the stud right now. Wander Franco, love him to death, got his big money, hasn't played to an MVP caliber level so far this year. So I think 2 wins against the Rays is something that we can attain, especially because of who we're going to have going on the bump. I believe that lines up for Joe Ryan to be one of those starts against the Rays, if not for the opener for that series, if I'm not mistaken. So you'll get some good starts against the Rays. And then the Seattle team is heating up. So I'm actually going to say 2 wins, but an incredibly close game there. So I think 4 wins should be the watermark for the Twins moving forward here. It's going to, the series against Seattle is going to challenge people because I don't think people realize how deep that lineup is, especially with Julio Rodriguez, who is
their record doesn't really
cover
reflect
off the ball right now.
Good they are.
Exactly.
They're 26-31 right now. They could easily be 31-26.
Exactly. So that's going to be a challenging series. You're going to have to come to play, and if you don't, they're going to get you.
Right.
But 4 wins with a focused squad should be what the Twins are looking at as we creep up towards the halfway mark in the season and a little bit closer on all-star voting. Speaking of which, because we've gotten, got a little bit of time here, is there anybody on the Twins roster right now that you would be giving an all-star vote to? Like outright best at his position?
I would say Buxton because when available, I think he is probably the best center fielder in baseball.
Would agree.
Other than that,
Arise?
He just can't field super well. And he's an anomaly because he can't field super well, but he doesn't have enough power to be a DH.
Look at Gabe. Hi, Gabe. Yeah, go ahead. You might want to turn your mic on, though, boss.
I was just watching.
There you go.
No, I just want to. I was going to. It was actually an accident, but I had this set up. I'm intending to put it right now, but Arias absolutely should be. He is one of those amazing guys who's a fat guy who can just use the stick. It's amazing to watch him play.
I believe he's leading the league in average, right?
That's why I couldn't believe I was getting angry back here that you didn't have him as Twin of the Week. He's the hit king right now.
Yeah, he's got 3. He's batting 361.
Yes,
he's got incredible. So the problem is though, do you play him at second base in the All-Star game? He can't field super well.
You DH him.
I love it.
Because the DH is in both leagues.
But is he the best DH
Backup
though?
DH.
That's the kicker though. Is he's got 1 home run on the year?
Well, we didn't say he had to start.
Yeah,
backup DH.
You just got to make the roster.
Okay, I would agree with that.
He deserves it.
I would agree with that.
What about Duran?
Close, but no cigar. Next year.
Lethal.
Yeah, but he's also had 2 blown saves, I think, or something. And I don't know.
There's a blown hold and a blown save. Yeah. But yeah, I totally get it. I mean, that's fair.
Close.
But man, Twins got some guys.
How many wins does Joe Ryan have now?
5?
I can look that up.
If I got that right.
He had 4 right away.
If I got that right, I'm going to be impressed.
Okay. Did he fall off a little bit?
He is 5-2.
Oh, let's go.
Wow, what's his ERA?
2.28.
Put him on the what?
Yeah,
that's actually really fucking good.
Put him in.
How many innings has he pitched?
Wow. Talk about a guy that's just flying under the radar right now. But you're right. I think he did get 4 wins fairly early. And I think he
started 8 games.
Like scuffling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not scuffling. He's been in a lot of close no decisions, I bet. And I think there was that week where the Twins had a really leaky bullpen. I think he got 2 starts in that week, and I think he had leads in both of those games where the bullpen gave it up for him.
I got to watch him pitch like next time. I mean, that's awesome.
When's his next start, Mikey?
I'm not sure. He has 42 strikeouts in 43 innings as well.
Pretty good.
Does he still have his rookie status? He does not, right?
Yes.
He does?
Yes.
He only started 5 games last year.
Because he was part of September call-ups last year. Okay. And if you come up...
Is it 50 games or something?
No, if you come up before September call-ups, that's when you get rookie status. But because he was only part of September call-ups last year, he gets it this year. So he's actually... Vegas had good money on him to be rookie of the year this year.
I think we got to start the rookie of the year campaign for him. Or we got to...
I'm seated.
Too early start campaigning.
I'm seated firmly in the Jose Miranda for Rookie of the Year camp, but I would agree for that.
So
as well.
Joe Ryan is reporting to St. Paul today, actually, to start rehab.
Oh, he must have had a
He's
little bit.
He's been on the COVID-19 injured list the past 2 weeks, and he'll require a start in the minors before rejoining the big league rotation.
When's this? Today? We might have to go cover.
Ryan could be back with the Twins sometime next week if all goes well during Thursday's start with St. Paul.
Today,
dude.
Let's go. Come on back, Joe. And we know how electric he is in a Saints uniform.
Sure.
So, all right, let us know what you guys think about the Minnesota Twins in the comments. We'll get back to you either here live on the show or afterwards. And Mike, what do we got next?
Well, next we're going to do our card giveaway contest.
Yeah, we've missed this the last couple of weeks because nobody's been entering. Here.
Yeah, where are all the names?
Well, all the name I left the names out because nobody's been entering. So I mean, I guess we'll see if we draw something good enough to create some buzz, and we'll post it. Give a card away next week.
Okay.
You want to run them through the rules while I open up these packs?
Yeah, guys. So we're going to give away a card today. In order to be entered to win, all you have to do is share the clip or picture from any social media with the name of the player whose card you'd like to win. That simple. Unlimited entries. You can do it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and you can do it as many times as you want. So if you want to take a screenshot and share it 10 times on your Twitter, go ahead. We'll put your name 10 times in the bowl. Some of these cards are
hitting the retweet button is really fucking simple.
It really is.
So
in fairness,
yeah,
and so that you guys don't feel like losers or whatever you're saying, but I swear I've had 3 friends hit me up asking about it who say they entered. I wonder if they're not doing it right.
Yeah, I haven't seen any new comments on Instagram. I haven't seen any new comments on Facebook. I can go back and look, but I haven't seen anything on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, which is the main way. And then we do always look at them for, TikTok as well.
So
I wonder if
2 different card brands today as well.
That's right. It'll be
Panini and
Panini Phoenix 2021 and Panini's Prism's draft picks from last year. So Trevor Lawrence's draft class. So Mike's giggling because he saw one of the cards in here.
He did.
Alrighty. Let's see if we can get this appropriately adjusted.
Oh, there you go.
Bingo. Okay. All right, card numero uno. Mike Evans.
It's a good one.
Ooh, the overrated short king, Drew Brees.
The overrated short king. You definitely hit your head this morning.
What is this?
Racy McGrath.
There you go. For the Titans. Ooh.
Favre?
A little Brett Favre card with a purple insert. Let's go. Is this numbered?
That's some sort of it's numbered?
It is numbered.
That might be the big one.
To 125.
Can you hold that up kind of, to the screen again? And push, yeah.
Wow.
Ooh.
That's a beautiful card.
Yeah. To 125, that's a very nice card.
Even I like that, even though it's a Packer thing. For real, that's cool.
Season was in purple and gold, though.
Yeah, that's true. Heat Wave, Jamar Chase card. We do like that as well. This one is not numbered. Oh, look. A Predatorial Deshaun Watson Clemson card.
He looks good in that orange, though.
Jailhouse Orange, baby.
Or Cleveland Brown Orange.
Yeah, one of the two.
We'll go Jailhouse Orange, I guess.
T. Higgins for the Clemson Tigers as well.
2 Tigers in a row. Interesting.
Oh, here's our auto card.
Ooh.
To 99. Sean Davis from the Gators. Look up who he's with
I was gonna
currently,
say, I've
Mike.
never
Would
heard
you?
of him. Let me look.
But
Yeah,
that's a beautiful looking card there. Ooh.
that is. That looks like a. So out of 99.
Yeah, out of 99.
He's with the Green Bay Packers.
Aha, very nice.
Fuck him.
A refractor BYU Zach Wilson card. Tyler Boyd, another Bengals receiver. We have literally pulled the entire Bengals receiving core out of these 2 packs. Ooh, this one is numbered to 75, by the way. Then we have Henry Ruggs, who will be...
He's not looking to have a great year this year.
I mean, find him at your local car dealership.
Okay.
Late night cable, folks.
Kyle Pitts, Gators.
That's a cool one.
And then Trey Sermon, not the rapper.
That's also a cool one.
All right, folks. So we got some good cards for you this week. Mike, as I pack these up, run them through the rules one last time.
Yeah. All you need in order to win, guys, is to share the clip or the picture on your favorite social media with the player's name whose card you'd like to win. Then tune in next Thursday to see the giveaway as we draw for it live.
With so much enthusiasm, Mike. I love the level of passion that you bring to these descriptions sometimes. What do we got next?
And hey, I just want to mention too that we still have that 1 of 1 Ken Griffey Jr. error card that's available if they just tweet
the Lazy Eye Jr. card.
Yeah.
Glass half Griffey, folks.
Oddest thing.
Weird card. Yeah, next we're going to go to the hardwood NBA Finals.
You have hardwood right now?
You're weird, dude.
Right,
You're weird.
You said it, not me.
I said we're going to go to the hardwood.
Oh, gotcha.
As
gotcha.
in basketball.
Oh, the NBA Finals. That's right.
That's why I said
was
NBA Finals.
There. If there was ever like a right-o-meter on this show, I would be
Dinging it for the first time. Congratulations.
No, yeah, okay. I called this, man. Celtics came out game 1, just absolutely thumped them. Jumped all over them early. Great, third, fourth quarter push, lots of 3-pointers. Second game was kind of what you expected.
The same as the first game, other than the Celtics going 7 for 7 from beyond the arc to start the fourth quarter. What games are you watching?
They just had a really piss poor third quarter, and then last night it was
game 1 and 2 were the exact same, other than the Celtics going off in game 1. They played unworldly well in game 1, fourth quarter.
So what are you going to blame it on? What are you going to blame game 3 on?
The fact that the Warriors played 8-on-5 all game.
Oh my gosh. Mike has this before the show is trying to explain to me how when you play against the Celtics at home
at TD Garden,
that it's always, creepy, spooky, shady shit that goes on to help them win.
There's a leprechaun. Yes. It's like known, dude, around the NBA. I swear, like
Jason Tatum played basketball.
Jason Tatum wasn't even the best player for the Celtics in game 3. Jaylen Brown was.
26 points.
Jaylen Brown was better.
6 rebounds, 9 assists.
Congratulations.
When LeBron does that in the playoffs, everybody's like, crown him.
Yeah, because LeBron is overrated.
Yeah, it's true. He was on my all-time overrated list. But I don't know. Jason Tatum helped keep that team in the spots that they needed to be in. A lot of Marcus Smart's 3-pointers and buckets last night came off Tatum driving kick.
Jason Tatum is a good player in the NBA, but all these guys who are saying that this is Tatum's coming out party, like
it is Tatum's coming out party. I tweeted it last night. He's a top 5 player in the NBA if he wins.
Oh my God. No way.
Name 5 players you take over Jason Tatum next year.
Jaylen Brown, number 1, on the same team as him.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards plays nowhere near the level of defense
that Tatum plays. He could also put up 26, 6, and 9 in a playoff game. Yes, he could. Are you joking me right now?
You are high.
No, I'm not.
Did you hit your head this morning?
26, 6, and 9, and you're saying he's top 5 in the NBA.
26, 6, and 9 in double, like being doubled pretty much all game long. Playing point forward, might I add.
Not impressed.
Name 5 players. Legitimately, name 5 players that you would
Kevin
take
Durant.
to build. Okay, 1.
Jaylen Brown. I already named him. That's 2.
2.
So what is this? Just 5 players I'd build my team around before Jason Tatum?
Yeah.
Luka Doncic.
Okay.
Trae Young.
Oh, no.
Dropped 45 in.
He didn't even make
game.
the playoffs this year.
Yeah, they made the
Oh,
play-in.
sorry. They got swept.
He has a horrible team around him, and Jason Tatum has Jaylen Brown and Al Horford
you make
propping
my
him
head
up.
hurt listening to
Al
this.
Horford won game 1 for the Boston Celtics.
I'm not going to disagree with you there.
Jason Tatum didn't win game 3 either.
Jason Tatum is the new agent.
So now they're up 2-1, and your supposed top 5 in the NBA player hasn't made an impact to win a game in the finals yet.
He hit big shots last night late. You cannot deny that.
They were up 15 late. How did he hit big shots late?
When it was
Stop
close,
it.
when they were making a push, when the Golden State Warriors made a push in the third quarter, did he not?
He made like 3 layups in a row.
and then hit
He
a
can make layup
dagger
in
3
6
point,
times.
and then hit a dagger 3-pointer at the end of the third.
Not super impressed. I'm just saying. Is he a good player in the NBA? Yes. Is
You-
he probably top 20? Yes.
You can
Is he
choose
a
to
top
believe-
5? Hell no.
You can choose to believe Mike, who picked the
No
Warriors
way.
and was wrong about how these games are going to play out, or you can side with me,
Okay,
who picked
if-
the Celtics and
unless you're
has
a
been right
Celtics
about how all
fan,
this plays out so
you
far.
can admit that game 3 was extremely biased officiating.
Nope.
It was horrid.
Sorry, wrong. I'm sorry. Look at the stats on the screen. by the
Boston
way.
is like one of the chippiest teams I've seen play basketball.
That's
in a
called
long
good
time.
defense. Just
No.
because they're not playing phantom defense like Golden State, that doesn't
Okay.
mean that it's that it's illegal.
Jaylen Brown literally handed Steph Curry his wallet back after one play. He said, "Here you go. Sorry, I took this right out of your pocket." Nobody said nothing. Like, dude, it was awful.
You're also
It was not entertaining as a fan to watch them just get mugged and no called.
all right. Look at the stats on the screen. What do you see there? The Celtics are better at sharing the basketball. They beat them on the glass, and they're a more well-rounded team.
The only thing that I see continuing with that statistic is the on the glass stats, possibly.
I disagree with you. I think the Celtics are a more well-rounded team scoring the basketball.
I
right now.
would agree with that too, but the Warriors still have the potential to score more faster.
If
It was,
and I
evident,
will
like,
say this:
3 different. If the Warriors didn't set themselves back 18, like they were down 18, made it 3, down 15, made it 2. Like
Mhm.
it was obvious that the Warriors could score when they needed to.
so you're
If
telling
they
me
didn't
that
set
the
themselves
Celtics.
back so far to start the game.
So the
And
Celtics
fall into
did.
foul trouble early.
So the Celtics did exactly what the Timberwolves couldn't do, which is stop runs in a playoff series, which is what leads you to
Barely.
winning series. Yes,
Barely.
This isn't horseshoes and hand grenades.
I mean, when they go on a 13-0 run and you still have a 2-point lead and you finally pull it out and stop the run there, yeah, that's barely stopping the run.
barely stopping the run is still stopping the run.
It is. But
Barely saving somebody's life is still saving
It's
somebody's
like
life.
a near miss.
You're ridiculous. You're ridiculous. All right, what do you see for the rest of the series there, smart guy?
I said Warriors in 6.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to my game plan here. Celtics will take the next game. This will put them up 3-1. Warriors take 1, and then Celtics will close it out in Golden State. Dagger and the dynasty.
And the
Hand
MVP
it-
will be Jaylen Brown.
And the MVP will be Jason Tatum.
Walls.
If you disagree with Mike, hit us up in the comment section.
Great.
I mean,
Tatum fans are going to be worse than LeBron fans.
the disrespect that you just spewed into that mic, what is wrong with you?
He's not
No
a top
fans
5
are
player.
worse than LeBron fans,
Yeah.
and you know this.
No fans are worse than LeBron fans?
No fans.
Have you met Philadelphia Eagle fans?
I mean, we had one in studio last week. He seemed like an okay guy.
He's the exception to the rule.
Okay. Mike gets a new follower on Instagram, and all of a sudden, crown him.
Whatever. All right. With that, let's transition to NFL's AFC East predictions.
Yeah, we've been flying through some of these teams. So this week we're going to go ahead and break down the AFC.
Have we been
East.
flying through? Do you want to start with the Jets? Is that a nod?
No, we're going to be
Okay.
starting with the Miami Dolphins. I think you'll be surprised at how I ranked these out, and I know we're going to get off arguing right away. Right off the jump. 4 fucking seconds. It took you 4 fucking seconds to piss me off. So the AFC East predictions. We can start with the Miami Dolphins whenever Gabe is ready.
Just coming up right now, guys.
Just thinking Jason Tatum is a top 5 player. That's hilarious. He's averaging 22 points a game in the finals. Crown him.
With 8 assists as a forward. The offense is
a joke.
The offense runs through him.
Congratulations.
All right.
The offense is able to run through him because he's carried by good players around him. Put him on the Hawks, see what he does. But he doesn't even get as far as Trae Young did.
Disagree. Are we missing week 1 here, Gabe?
No, I think I just refreshed it, so it's supposed to be there now.
Bingo.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. So,
ouch for the Dolphins.
Very ouch for the Dolphins to start the season. So the Miami Dolphins, the Tua Tagovailoa experiment continues in Miami under a new head coach, and they start the year. Week 1 versus New England, at Baltimore versus Buffalo, at the Jets. At Cincinnati, and then at the Jets. And Mike, how do they start the year?
I'm going to say 1-4.
Wow. Okay. You have less faith in them than I do. Why do you have them going 1-4?
I think the Patriots match up well against them, and I trust Belichick over a new coach in week 1. The Ravens game, I think, will be close, and I think that'll be Lamar kind of pulling it out because Lamar against that defense, I still like Lamar.
Yeah, Lamar loves playing against Miami.
Right.
Right.
You know, being from there, Coral Gables kid. Then you got Buffalo. I just don't see how Miami's secondary is going to be able to bottle Buffalo at all.
Byron Jones and Xavier Howard.
Yeah.
They don't bottle Buffalo.
I don't think anybody bottles Buffalo.
Okay.
That's kind of the kicker, right?
I told you we were going to fight right away.
I mean, who's Miami safeties? Exactly. Cincinnati, it's going to be closer again, but I think it's going to be the run game of Cincinnati that actually propels them. They're going to be afraid of Joe Burrow. They're not going to be keeping the box, 6, maybe 5 in the box at times until Mixon will just run on them. And then the Jets, that's where they get their 1 win. I wouldn't be surprised if they have 2 losses by less than 7 points type thing, and then they get their win against the Jets.
Fair enough. All right, so here's how I have this breaking down. Beating New England.
Wow.
Beating Buffalo. Beating the Jets.
You hit your head this morning.
Listen.
I'm going to call your mom right now.
Listen.
No,
here's the reason.
Are you okay?
Yeah. You got to remember, Buffalo is prone to the early season clunker. Also, Daboll,
it's going to be a divisional clunker, though?
Well, here's why. Brand new offensive coordinator. That's going to take some time to gel. And I would give it to the Bills if they had anything that resembled a successful run game, which they don't have. So do you
have you met number 17 for the Buffalo Bills?
I have met Josh Allen. I haven't met Josh Allen, but I know
he has like 60 rush yards a game. He is their rushing offense.
I get that, but that's not threatening enough to me to make me believe that even though they don't have great safety play, that those corners aren't going to be able to lock up that their pass game enough to stunt them. And then, just because it hasn't gelled well, them jump all over the Bills and get a win here. I got them beating the Jets. I had them losing to Baltimore.
You have them
Cincinnati.
going.
That game's at home,
you just
too.
said that you had them beating Baltimore, I thought.
No. New England, Buffalo, Jets. 3 wins,
Okay.
2 losses against Baltimore and Cincinnati, which is accurate with what I said last week. 3-2 to start the year.
You have them going 2-1 against playoff teams last year
Correct.
to start the year.
Yep.
With a new offense.
You'll see why. Go ahead. We can get into week 6 through 12 where,
Gabe, you throw 10 jailbreak screens to Tyreek.
Yeah, maybe. You had it right the first time, Gabe, where they will go versus Minnesota versus Pittsburgh, at Detroit, at Chicago versus Cleveland, and then versus Houston. Go ahead, Mike. How do they do as they truck on through the middle of the season?
I'm going to say 3 more wins.
Okay. Who against?
Pittsburgh, Detroit, and Chicago.
Okay. I have them at 3 wins as well. Detroit, Chicago, and Houston.
Yeah. The Houston game's interesting. They should win that game.
Okay.
Is what I'll say. So Miami should win that game. They'll be the favorite. That's going to be like that weird win that Houston has that like they'll be like 4-8 And people are like, hey, could Houston
Hey, is Davis
finish,
Mills a good quarterback? Yes, he is.
9-8 or something? And no, they'll like finish 4-13, but that'll be their fourth win or something. Houston's always good for that. So Miami's not as good as the Minnesota Vikings. As long as the Vikings don't have their clunker, the Vikings should win that game.
Yes.
Steelers don't have a quarterback.
Correct.
Or they have 3. Same thing.
Yep.
Detroit,
and it's a primetime game. Tomlin brings the boys to play at primetime.
Detroit is just... There's a lot of these teams that, like, realistically, I see between 5 and 8 wins that they could go literally 5 to 8 wins.
Yeah.
Detroit is one. I think Miami is another, depending on how they come out and play. The Detroit game's a weird one. I'm going to say Miami just because I think Miami has more weapons. Chicago is probably the worst team in the NFL this year.
Yeah.
If not the Jets, but like they're right there. Yeah. I have them winning 3 of those.
Yeah, I also had them winning 3, which puts them at 6-5. Listen, they're going to give themselves a chance to stay in it. I think having enough weapons is going to be enough to keep them in the playoff race in this division. It's going to be really close. I actually, and we'll touch on this when we get to the Patriots. I had the Dolphins in New England tied. There's going to be a weird thing that happens towards the end of the year this year that I think is going to be a little bit different. But good pass rushing teams hurt them. I think that is the formula against Miami this year. So taking a loss to Minnesota.
Which is interesting because their short passing game is so effective.
True, but Tua is what worries me as a whole.
Tua under pressure.
Under pressure. So Minnesota, good pass rush. Pittsburgh, good pass rush. Cleveland, good pass rush. Loss. Otherwise, they'll stay afloat. Then we get to the back half of the season where things do get a little bit tougher. Weeks 13 through 17, they go at San Francisco. 18, sorry. I will make that adjustment up here at some point. They go at San Francisco, at the Chargers, at Buffalo. Very hard road stretch. Then they get Green Bay at home, New England, and the Jets. How do they end the year, Mike?
I have a few friends that are Dolphins fans, and I'm sorry again.
Okay.
But you guys are going to go 5-12.
Oh, wow. So that no wins on the back half of the schedule or what?
Jets. That's it.
That's tough. You're not being very nice to the city of Miami.
I don't really care about the city of Miami, for one.
Jesus.
And 2, their football team hasn't been good since 1972.
Also true. Well, I've got some better news. If you want to side with me, Miami, come on in. The water's fine. I have them finishing the year 9-8. They will beat San Francisco on the road.
Bruh,
Here's why. No matter what happens at that point in the season, Trey Lance will be the starter. Whether they keep Jimmy till the trade deadline or not, Trey will be the starter. And that rookie mistake game in a game that matters to the other team.
It won't be close enough for his rookie mistake to mean anything.
It will. I have this feeling. Because
what about pass rush, Nicholas?
I agree. But what about San Francisco's secondary, Michael?
Tua won't be able to get the ball off. He'll have Bosa,
like
giving him a hug before he takes the snap.
That's where I disagree. I think Miami's weapons there keep them afloat. Then they lose to the Chargers. They lose to Buffalo. I told you early in the year, Green Bay, a cold weather team heading to Miami where it's hot. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. Plus, they've lost a lot of pieces and don't have a top tier pass defense either. So they beat Green Bay. They lose to New England, and then they beat the Jets to end the year. They finish the year 9-8. Wow. The enthusiasm.
Well, your takes are horrible, so I just, they're putting me to sleep.
Good Lord. All right, well, let's switch teams then to the New England Patriots.
See how horrible you are with these guys.
It's a very Bill Belichick schedule for the Patriots this year. Let's just put it that way. Whenever Gabe is ready.
Coming up.
Oh, by the way, when you post these on social media, post my picks instead of your picks this week.
Oh, how about you give them to me so I can prepare them so I can post them?
All right, Miami, 5-12.
Send it to me in a text.
There you go.
And it'll get put in there. All right.
Oh, this stupid thing. I hate this if you can't tell. Those stupid slides. But, all right.
Right there.
Yep.
All right. So they start the year with Miami at Pittsburgh. Then they go home versus Baltimore. And then they get Green Bay on the road versus Detroit at home. I got them at 3-2. They will beat Pittsburgh. They will beat Green Bay. They will beat Detroit. I had them beating Green Bay in our schedule prediction way back. I checked myself, so I will stay true to my picks here. It's a very Bill Belichick start to the year. trying to figure out who the play caller is, run game, new defensive pieces, a lot of just grit and grind. Every game is close. They sneak away with 3 of them early to keep themselves in it.
The record is right.
Okay.
Beat Miami, beat Pittsburgh, beat Detroit.
Okay.
New
Why?
England's one of those teams that'll win 10 or 11 games, but none of them will be against playoff teams type thing.
Ooh. You think their defense has regressed that far, huh? Because their offense has gotten better.
Yeah, but do you really trust Mac Jones, like, minute and a half left to beat Aaron Rodgers, ball in his hands?
Yes.
Oh, your takes today are just ridiculous.
No, that just goes to show you who I think Aaron. Here's the comparison I'm going to draw.
You trust Mac Jones to beat Aaron Rodgers with a minute left?
I don't. Here's the comparison I'm going to draw. What did I tell you about Matt Ryan when Julio left? Massive regression, right?
Yeah.
I think it's the same fucking thing for Aaron Rodgers this year.
The
Devontae Adams leaves.
Stop.
Massive regression.
Stop. The question wasn't about Aaron Rodgers. The question was, Mac Jones has the ball in his hands with a minute left to beat Aaron Rodgers, and you're taking Mac Jones.
I don't think Green Bay's defense is good enough to stop him. They lost a lot of pieces. They lost a lot of pieces.
I don't think it matters who the defense is. Mac Jones chokes it away.
Ugh. Really?
I think he's a pedestrian. He will always be a 77 overall quarterback on Madden.
That goes to show you how Mike does his sports takes, ladies and gentlemen. We can get to the next part of the
He
schedule.
will. He's average.
Little
above average.
6 through 12, they go at Cleveland versus Chicago at New York. Then they get Indy, the New York Jets at home, and then they come to Minnesota to end this stretch. Mike, how's it play out?
4 wins, bookended by losses.
Okay. So you think they get, so you're giving them wins in Chicago and New York, and then you have them beating Indy.
Yep. And New York again.
All right. Reason being?
I think the Browns rushing attack, like no matter who's under center for that, that's just going to be that 7-3 game again.
Is this also accurate with what you gave us last week?
I believe so.
Okay.
If it's not, I apologize. But I know that I knew it was going to be a grit and grind game last week as well.
Yep.
It's going to be like a 7-3 game. So if I said New England last week and I'm saying Cleveland this week, because it could literally go either way. And at a certain point, I just got to make picks, right? So that's going to be a grit and grind game. Today, I'll say Cleveland wins it.
Yep.
And then Minnesota at the end, I think just Minnesota's too talented. As long as Minnesota, and this is coming from a Vikings fan, but as long as we don't absolutely shoot ourselves in the foot, we're an 11-6, 12-5 team.
And we went over that.
So this is how we get our wins.
Okay. I have them losing to Cleveland. Mac Jones just gets sidelined with the run game. I agree with you there. They beat Chicago. They beat New York. That's easy. The Jets are still just, we're going to talk about it. They're a little whiles away still. They lose to Indianapolis. That run game is way too good. And their defense is also very good. Bringing in Stephon Gilmore, who knows a lot about Bill Belichick's defense as well, or that offense, or how he runs his practices. A lot of inside information there. I'm going to give the win to Indy, and then I have them beating the Jets and then beating Minnesota, which is accurate with what I had on my Vikings breakdown when we started this. So they go 7-4, or they're at 7-4, and in a good spot to start this.
We have the same record.
Yeah. Then they end the year weeks 13 through 18.
Hey, look at that.
I fucking figured it out. They got Buffalo at home. Then they go to Arizona and Vegas. They got Cincy at home. They go Miami at home, and then at Buffalo to end the season. And this is where I think it gets interesting, but I want you to go first.
Arf.
You want me to go while you think it out?
I mean, I'm going to say 2 wins.
Ay.
Finish 9-8.
Okay.
I'm going to say at home against Buffalo.
Okay.
Sitting at 8-4 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Go out to the desert. Arizona beats them. Stay out in the desert. Raiders beat them.
Okay.
Coming home against the Bengals. I think the Bengals beat them on Christmas Eve.
Yep.
Miami is their win.
Gotcha.
And then Buffalo beats them again.
Fair enough. I think we can all agree with in the last 2 years, Stephon Gilmore and J.C. Jackson leaving, the Achilles heel for Bill this year is going to be stopping the pass game, right? You look at this stretch. They go Diggs, D-Hop, Adams, Chase, Hill, Diggs again. That's tough, right? But I think there's something very
quarterbacks there too, though. Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Derek Carr, Joe Burrow.
Right. It's a tough stretch.
Allen
but
again.
I also, when I did this originally, before I got to breaking down the Buffalo Bills, had them at 9-8. However, I have them finishing 10-7, and here's why. I think they lose to Buffalo at home. Buffalo's a better team. They beat Arizona. Arizona, after the halfway point of the season, still needs to prove to me that they are not just an absolute backslide. Every year under Cliff Kingsbury, that they have.
But it's usually like the last 4 games.
True.
That would be the 5th game.
True.
In theory.
Also, unhappy Kyler. So who knows?
True.
Right? Then they'll lose to Vegas and they'll lose to Cincinnati. I think they beat Miami late. I think they beat the Bills late. And here's why.
At
Buffalo, the Bills are going to be so far out in front that they'll be sitting all their starters. And I had the Dolphins at 9-8, but because the Bills are so far out in front, New England gets the win and goes 10-7 and puts Miami in 3rd place.
I don't know if Buffalo will be so out in front in the whole AFC, though.
We're going to get to it because I've got them steamrolling a lot of teams. They're so good this year. They are so good this year. So you had them at what, 9-8, and I got them at 10-7?
Yep.
Pretty close. Similar records, different win-loss for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
So then we can move on over to the New York Jets. Before we start, I would like to preemptively apologize to Rich Eisen. I know he thinks this is the year the Jets make the playoffs. They did all the right moves. I looked at the schedule and I went, how on God's green earth is this the schedule of a team that finished last place in their division last year?
They did the right moves to be decent in 7 years.
I think you will see all of the right pieces play the way you'd like them to play. Zach will improve. Your wide receiving core will be good. I think you see Breece Hall play pretty well. I think you see the pass defense improve. I think they're a good individual team. Next year is where you'll see it all line up, and you'll see them. I predicted the Giants the Lions to make a Lions and Tigers and Bears. Oh my, to make a big step. I think the Jets take an even larger step in 2023 under Saleh if they stick with the same regime. But this year is going to look really ugly. I have them as the worst team in the NFL over the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, they're out there for me too. So let's make this quick.
All right. So Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, Miami, all 5 losses.
Yep. Agreed.
It's not.
Maybe the Pittsburgh game.
They'll be close. They'll be close in a lot of these games. Like, you're going to see a competitive nature, but like, you're going to see the glaring error as well.
Yeah.
That'll wind up on the front page of New York sports media. All right. Weeks 6 through 12, Green Bay. They go at Green Bay, at Denver, versus New England. They get Buffalo at home. They go to New England, and then they get Chicago. I get the Bears as their 1 win because they get them at home.
Agreed.
Okay, so 1-10.
We're off to a good start.
Well, we are. They are not. All right, then to end the season, they get Minnesota, Buffalo, Detroit, Jacksonville, Miami, Seattle. I think this is where you start to see some pieces gel together. They get a little bit of momentum. You know, they're not playing for anything. They're just out there having fun, right? So I think
they though? They've won 1 game.
But like I said, you see it all the time with teams that are ready to pop, where like the late portion of the season, the previous year, they go and do some good things, right? So I think they do good things against Detroit. I think they're better than Jacksonville in week 16. And then they get Seattle in week 17. They're 4-13 to end the year.
I'm going to say they maybe beat Seattle, but otherwise they're finishing with 1 win.
Rich, I'm so sorry. You deserve an Emmy, and your sports team does not deserve to be this bad. But it's going to be a rough year. Is there anything they can do to keep this from happening? Is there a veteran out there, like if they go get Ndamukong Suh, if they go make a move?
This year, no.
Okay.
What you can do to keep it from happening again, though, is understanding that this year's going to suck and not blow it up next year.
Yes.
Keep it together.
Stay the course.
Play the long game.
Yep. Delayed gratification for the New York Jets.
Yeah.
All right. Now let's get into what everybody kind of has picked as I would say a Super Bowl favorite. Would you agree in the AFC?
Yeah.
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills. Oh, how I miss the days of when everybody used to think they were just going to circle the wagons. But that's not the case anymore. They are the wagon, and they are going to road grade some people. So let's get into it here. Weeks 1 through 5, they go at the Rams to open up. They get Tennessee at home, then they go to Miami, to Baltimore, and then they face Pittsburgh at home. I have them going 3-2. Both are their losses coming to the Rams. Week 1, that's going to be tough. At home for the Rams. Big old Super Bowl celebration. Aaron Donald back, Cooper Kupp, new contract, Matt Stafford back, Sean McVay married, loss. Way too much pressure week 1. Then you get a loss against Miami. We talked about this already. I think early in the year, new OC, just some different things going on in Buffalo. They get a loss there, but otherwise, they beat Tennessee, they beat Baltimore, they beat Pittsburgh.
4-1.
Okay.
Lose to the Rams.
Okay.
The Rams are probably the best team in football, but the Bills are probably second.
Week 1 might be a Super Bowl preview.
Exactly.
So
Win out from there on. I mean, the Tennessee matchup is going to be really fun. I think Tennessee is going to play well. I think Derrick Henry's probably going to have 160 yards.
Yes.
They're just not.
They don't have the receivers now.
Well, Tennessee's going to score like 28. Henry's going to look great, but Buffalo's just going to put up 40.
Yeah.
Like, they just won't be able to match that offensive firepower.
I would agree.
Miami, I'm sorry. That's laughable that you're even picking Miami. Baltimore, that'll be a good one. But again, I just don't think that Baltimore, with their offense that they run, it's a slower paced offense that takes time.
Listen, Buffalo's big in the middle.
And Buffalo
on
can
defense.
score at any time.
Yeah.
They're not as big, though, because we got that hairy guy.
But they got Ed Oliver, who's in his second or third year now. Like, they got some guys up front.
Yeah, but all right. Pittsburgh, sorry, guys. I think that could be a good game because of Pittsburgh's defense, and I trust Mike Tomlin.
And they got a surprise.
Do not have a quarterback.
They snuck up on him last year, but Big Ben's not there. It's not going to be the same recipe.
Yeah, I don't see Mitch Trubisky leading them to victory, and Kenny Pickett's hands are too small.
All right, fair enough. This is how I see the Bills getting away with a lot of their games, is because they'll go 3-2 and everybody will be like, whoa, the Bills are not who we thought they were. And then they'll disappear under people's radar. And then you get this stretch of the schedule. You're going to pick your head up and be like, holy shit, the Bills are for real. So weeks 6 through 12, at Kansas City, Green Bay at home, at New York, versus Minnesota, versus Cleveland, at Detroit. I think they take every game on this stretch.
I have them losing at Kansas City, but that's it.
Okay. Kansas City, not enough defense. Green Bay, not enough offense to keep up, in my opinion. They're just going to outmatch the rest of these.
Not enough football guys.
Yeah, right. I would agree. Not necessarily cruise control for the Bills here, but maybe a controlled cruise through this stretch of the schedule. They go 9-2, and they're looking real, real good heading into the last stretch of the season.
I have them at 9-2 as well.
There we go. All right, third and final stretch of the year for the Buffalo Billies. New England at New England versus the Jets versus Miami, at Chicago. Then we go at Cincinnati and versus New England again. Michael?
I'll say one loss to Cincinnati on Monday Night Football.
Right.
14-3.
So I also have them 14-3. And I think literally they will end on, we talked about this already. They'll end on a loss. They will be 14-2 heading into week 18 and have locked up
the Buffalo Bills. 2 out of their 3 losses. One is at Miami, and the other is at home against New England.
Yes. Kiss your sister and call me crazy.
What I have to deal with sports takes on this show? My back hurts from carrying.
Yeah. It shows in the way that you picked the NBA series so far. But no, listen, man. If you go into week 18 at 14-2, there's not another AFC team that's close. You've locked up the bye.
You don't think
sit your
Kansas City
starters.
has 13 wins at that point?
No. I don't believe in Juju.
It's not Juju you have to believe in. It's Patrick Mahomes.
Throwing to...
Does it really matter?
Yes.
He makes McCole Hardman look great.
Also true. But I think they sit their starters there. New England gets a sneaky little win. They go 14-3. The record's the same.
It is. Your
and New England will
high.
England will have.
You think they have a higher chance of losing to the Dolphins than at Cincinnati on Monday Night Football?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay. All right.
You're looking at it. Life is perspective. You're looking at it through a different lens than I am.
Your lens is just wrong.
We talked about why Cincinnati will not get that game last week.
You talked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you said, "Oh, you're not wrong. I hate agreeing with you."
No, I don't know about that one.
Oh, we will. Go ahead.
About that one.
Go ahead. We can wrap this up, and I will pull up the TikTok then. Because Mike rubbed his face and he goes, "I hate it when he's right." Because I had it every other, and you agreed with me.
I don't know if it was about that game.
Run the tape. If you're watching this episode, go back, watch the Bengals segment. Last stretch of the season, Mike agreed with me because I'm a smart guy. He just doesn't like to admit it, and that's okay. But I don't need to sit here and take this shit from you.
Okay, let's move into hot corner then.
All right. Some
Bills
stuff.
win the AFC East, of course. Who didn't know that?
Apparently you.
I said 14-3. Hot corner. Aaron Donald made a ton of money.
Yeah. How? And let's caveat: Cooper Kupp made a shit ton of money.
Yep. Matthew Stafford
Made a shit ton of money. Jalen Ramsey, Bobby Wagner made a lot of money.
A new stadium too.
Yeah. And I called you last night about this. I figured out how they're getting it done, right? It's cash over cap when you're a rich owner.
Do you guys know that the NFL is actually more than that, more like the MLB than we thought?
Yeah, and I think Gabe will find this very interesting. And depending, how are we doing on time?
It's 12:20 currently.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Central Standard Time.
Nice. We're doing all right on time. And Gabe will find this interesting. The NFL salary cap is marshmallow soft if you are a rich cash, like liquid cash owner, rather than it being concrete solid. It's not a firm number. The way that a lot of these teams, like the Rams, are getting away with signing big contract after big contract after big contract is putting the majority of the burden on the prorated signing bonus, because that gets prorated against the cap as well, and then just writing massive checks out of their own pocket to make sure that they can build a roster that is going to be able to recoup those funds by additional games in the playoffs, TV rights, primetime games, merchandise, things like that. So not surprised here, but very well deserved for both Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald's deal gets him, I think it's $95 million between this year and the end of that voidable year in his contract in 2025.
He's also the highest paid non-QB now in the NFL.
Yeah, $30 million a year is a lot for a defensive tackle, but he is the defensive tackle.
He is.
Which led me to this question, and Gabe can jump in on this as well. If he wins another Super Bowl or another Defensive Player of the Year award before he retires, does he usurp LT as the greatest defender in NFL history?
Possibly, but dude, it's different positions.
I know it's different positions, but impact-wise, you can argue that.
I think Prime is in that conversation though too. That's what I'm saying. So it's the most
defensive line,
the most dominant. Well, LT was linebacker, right? So the most dominant defensive lineman ever is probably Aaron Donald.
Yes,
it's close. You have some really good ones though. In
Reggie White.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I like Reggie White too.
Actually, it's exactly what.
But when you think pass rushers or guys that impact the other, because the name of football is what?
Well, and the thing that Aaron Donald has maybe on those elite pass rushers is he's so ridiculously good in the run game as well.
I was just going to ask that.
He's astonishing
his
in the run game.
that he plays with the 3-tech allows him to basically do both at an absolutely elite level.
So let's just put it this way. Aaron Donald is put on highlight films all the time for never actually having to pass rush. He just plays the 3 technique so well against the run that if you don't play it perfectly as an offensive lineman, he's going to get to your quarterback on a pass play.
While being double teamed.
You look at a lot of film and he's getting not just a tackle and a tight end, which for a defensive end, yeah, sure, that's some weight to move, but he's getting guard center, sometimes guard center tackle
and running back
on it. They're allocating 4 guys to try to stop him. It's absurd to me.
There are various highlights out there where he has gone through 3 to 4 guys and still gotten a sack.
Just by pushing all that entire pile right back into the quarterback.
Let me put this one to you guys. I got a quiz here for you.
Yeah.
I think this is the way to answer it. If you are drafting your own all-time defense, who is the first player that you pick? It's as simple as that. It's the very first player.
Donald.
To me, I almost go like a lockdown corner. I feel like is like almost more rare, like Dion or I don't know.
Dion would be your pick then.
I guess you know I don't know. I'd have to think a little bit more, but it might.
You could go way back. You know, Gabe, knowing you could go way back and go to
Ryan Sandberg?
Night Train Lane.
Well, you're right.
1960s, right?
Actually, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, all I know is that with defenses now, they're so freaking specialized compared to the past that it's almost like you can't compare them across positions anymore. It almost seems like.
Well, and what makes it really difficult, oddly, to compare defensive players of eras is the offenses that they were going against. Mm-hmm. Does LT have more sacks? Is he more dominant facing spread offenses?
Or did he have,
or does that expose him as not being able to cover it all from that outside linebacker position?
You could also look at it as were pass blockers not as skilled because passing was not such a large portion of the game when he played.
Now I'm playing devil's advocate on myself, and
right.
You have the LT and Bills Super Bowl where he actually played pretty well against a pretty open offense. But
yeah,
but if he had to do it every weekday, I don't know. It's interesting.
He was a freak, though. I mean, truly, he was high on drugs.
Right.
Doing that. I mean, it's.
I don't know. I think
so. Who's your first defensive player of all time?
It would have to be Donald. The way that he acts in the locker room, the impact he has on the run game, the fact that he eliminates play action pass. You could drop him in any era with the position that he plays, and he is a perennial defensive player of the year style guy.
I just think that there's. So obviously Donald LT, there's a few other defensive players of this era that are up there.
I would like a close second for me is Ray Lewis.
Yeah, I was going to say, what about like a middle linebacker like Bobby Wagner in his prime? He could vault that defense. Luke Kuechly.
Bobby Wagner.
By the way, this year we'll be playing with
the Rams.
Aaron Donald.
He's been in the middle linebacker for the Seahawks.
Yeah.
For like when the Seahawks was the really Legion of Boom, won the Super Bowl.
He was the Legion of Boom.
He was their middle linebacker.
Who's the best cornerback of all time?
Darrelle Revis.
In 1 year.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That was a pretty tight window. What about Ed for the Ravens?
Ed Reed was a safety.
Ed Reed was a safety.
He would be someone in a way.
Woodson's on that list.
I'm going to take Prime.
Champ Bailey, was he?
Champ Bailey was an
absolute stud.
Green was the Washington Redskins.
Darrell Green was just really fast.
Yes,
in my opinion. He was probably the fastest guy I've ever seen on an NFL field.
In my opinion, there is a deeper pool of safeties and corners that you can pick from. There is a deeper pool of linebackers that you can pick from. There is another guy at Aaron Donald's position that has his level of impact.
I want to make it very clear that I'm not saying he would be as good, but it would be interesting is the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
Put Mean Joe Green on that Rams line instead.
Warren Sapp.
There's other defensive linemen that are
just not as many.
Yeah, and I mean the difference between Aaron Donald and those guys is look at the body type of Warren Sapp versus Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald is 6'5", 300 and cut like a Greek god. Warren Sapp had a belly. Yeah. Like there's differences here.
Absolutely.
Aaron Donald can move like a linebacker.
Yes.
Legitimately.
I think that though to me it seems like so as someone who's been more in and out watching, I've been an intense fan for 10 years at a time and then out for 5 years. It seems to me like there's always a guy as good as Aaron Donald for a year. He's just maintained it for
his entire career. He got into the league, and this is who he has been every single day.
He's got to have the most defensive player of the years from that position ever.
Yeah, he's got 3, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
That's what I'm saying.
If
he gets in my opinion, if he gets a 4th and another ring because the Rams are set up to do it, then he's the best defensive player ever. Ever.
Don't you draft a corner though just because you get to you scheme so differently, like you just get to close off a part of the field?
But if you're doing an all-time draft, I feel like
there's
the
a lot
corner
of
that you're going to get in the 5th, 6th round is still probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But like, if you take a pass rusher that 2.5 seconds, he will be there every time.
That disrupts so
Your
much.
corner can be worse.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need.
I have an all-time offensive lineman, so I'm really worried about that.
Yeah, but he's gone up against some all-time offense. Yeah. Like Trent, like let's put it into perspective. Trent Williams,
left tackle for the San Francisco 49ers,
came out and said, I wish he would have retired. And Trent Williams is a first ballot Hall of Famer because he gives guys all-timers so much
let's
trouble.
Think of all-time offensive linemen really quick.
Munoz.
Take Randall McDaniel for the Minnesota Vikings and put him one-on-one against Aaron Donald. I think McDaniel has a long day.
Yeah.
And I love Randall McDaniel.
Joe Thomas, long day.
McDaniel. Ed McDaniel. Gabe.
Fuck, now you're screwing with my head, dude.
I think it's Randall. Ed was the linebacker.
Ed was the middle linebacker who got drunk. It was at my softball game, and he backed into two cars.
Why do you have just such
nice
gem-worthy stories?
And then he came to a comedy contest, and I was judging it, and he judged right next to me. And he was just annihilated and being the biggest dick the entire time. Like, I don't mind saying this publicly because he was that guy. Like, every time I've seen him, it's been.
I do have to shout out Randall McDaniel, though, because I think he was the first guard to wear a dark visor. Sick.
Cool. He would race Randy Smith, or Smith, the running back.
Robert
Smith. He would actually foot race him in practice. And Randy Moss beat them both, carrying his helmet.
Oh, I have heard that story.
Morris told,
But like, you're right. Munoz, Joe Thomas, long day against Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
Trent Williams, long day against Aaron Donald.
That's the thing, though, is like one-on-one, Donald has them all.
Two-on-one, you could still make an argument like, you better bring some tight end help.
Well, here's the thing. If you go 2-on-1, now I have an all-time DN going free.
My point exactly.
So, Donald might be my first pick just because.
What he brings to the table is something you don't find elsewhere.
In the home of John Randall. I hear you guys saying this.
I'm sorry. I love John Randall, but.
Yeah, Aaron Donald all day long.
Yeah, not even close.
So, all right. With that, let us know what you guys think about Aaron Donald's new contract. Where does he rank on your list for all-time best defensive players?
Hey, actually, very sorry to break in, but I've been meaning to say this the whole time. Is this now, like, we just had a conversation about how Aaron Donald is the best defensive player of all time, basically.
Yeah.
And if you guys recall the Urban Meyer story, the fallout from that is that he didn't know who Aaron Donald was.
Yeah, what a fucking no.
Like, I mean, was he actually now? Like, was that a story that?
Yeah, I think it's believable because I think Urban Meyer wasn't really ever a professional football head coach.
I think he was so about Urban.
Yeah.
He never looked outside of his own
attention
circle.
Paid to anything going on. Like,
that's astonishing.
I think it's truly believable that he didn't know who Aaron Donald was, who's probably been the most dominant defensive player over the past decade. Like,
he would have had to have gone up against Aaron Donald or been in college when Aaron Donald was getting recruited.
Hmm?
Or read a scouting report or seen ESPN. At some point. Just maybe have that
one
on.
time.
That's why it's hard to believe. It's so hard to believe.
Urban Meyer,
YouTube clip, nothing. Didn't know who he was.
Urban Meyer might be and there have been a lot of them in the NFL, maybe the least socially aware individual to ever work in the NFL.
Yeah.
And
he got caught getting a lap dance in the middle of a room surrounded by people. Like, it's not like this camera was like peeking behind the curtain in a private room or nothing. Like, idiot. Dude,
in a chop house that he owned.
That's what I was saying, with his name on the building.
I
mean,
when everybody in God's green earth knows he should have been on a plane with a team, back from a game that they lost horribly.
Yep.
Bad. It is. It's unbelievable.
All right. With that, let's talk about a new head coach.
Lakers head coach. They decided on one. Former assistant for the Lakers.
Darvin
Hamm. What are your thoughts, Mike?
I think this is exactly what they didn't need to do. This is the exact opposite of what I would have done. Congratulations to Darvin Hamm. I have no ill will against him.
Agreed.
And I wish him the best of luck in the rest of his coaching career. However, sir, you were hired to be LeBron's puppet.
Yep.
And I think that's evident.
Yeah. I'm intrigued by this because he's got ties to the Lakers previously and has won championships there. What worried me, and I was like, yep, okay, I can. When they hired him, I was like, I can deal with this. This might be okay. The moment I was concerned was the moment that he stepped to the podium and backed Russell Westbrook. Against Jeannie Buss, against Rob Pelinka, against Clutch Sports, against everybody that has been trying to move Russ all offseason to a different team, he said, well, you got to remember, Russ is one of the best players that the NBA has ever seen, and I think it's ridiculous for any of us to sit here and say that he's washed up and to say that he has nothing left in the tank and he's still a good player.
Doesn't that,
and
in theory, help his trade value, though?
I would agree, but
maybe.
Who was the only Laker?
How well do you know Darvin Hamm? We don't know him at all. He's an absolute anomaly at this point. He could legitimately be playing mental chess while we're playing checkers.
I think he's actually bought in on Russ because where was he before he came to LA? He was with Milwaukee.
Yeah.
What does Milwaukee do really well? Drive and kick.
And mid-range game.
Drive, kick, and mid-range game. That's who Russ is. I think that was a legitimate statement of him backing a guy that will be the reason that he doesn't make it 2 years with the Lakers.
I think the reason he won't make it 2 years with the Lakers is because LeBron will do exactly what he did this year.
Well, that'll be the other 50% of the equation.
Everything that he wants, and it won't be what they need.
That'll be the other 50% of the equation.
Don't you think also, like, he had to do that?
No,
because
absolutely
coach,
not.
No, as a coach, like, he has to be ready for what if they don't move him?
Right.
Right?
You can't bench him. Start.
John Wall didn't play all year last year because the coach of the Houston Rockets said, you're too old for our culture. You don't want to do things the way that we want to do it. So you sit. Ham could have done the same thing.
Ham doesn't.
But I'd say that's politically unwise. Like, what's his incentive to say, screw this guy? He sucks. Like, what? How does that help him? At least he keeps the back door open. That's my thinking.
I agree, Gabe.
I mean, I guess. I just thought it was really or he could have said nothing at all. He could have said at this time.
He asked?
He was asked, and as a head coach that had not had the opportunity to see Russ on the floor, as the head coach could have gone, you know what? We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to look at everything from the team inside out and see how we can put the best foot forward when we get onto the hardwood.
So the year prior to the Lakers, though, Russ was still top 10 point guard.
Yeah, fringe, yeah.
Okay, so I am going to buy into the belief right now that it was the system and who he was playing with. As of right now,
the drop-off was hefty in play. Like, his style of play was very, very evidently different last year.
The system that he was in was quite different as well. It was. So I'm not saying that he hasn't dropped off at all, but I would still say in the right system, he's still probably a top 15 scorer point guard in the league.
Yeah, but at $47 million next year?
I still think the Lakers should move him.
Yes. Buy him out.
But to say that he is totally washed, I agree. He's not.
Also, to Nick's point, though, I will agree with him that it's like, he is kind of a, you'd like to see your head coach come in and be definitive and be a leader and not be, like this sort of does fit with the LeBron Cuck sort of storyline that it's like he's just going to say everything that's right and be positive and be a nothing coach,
He's a puppet.
Yeah. So we're all right.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting experiment. A lot of damage can be done to LeBron's legacy in the next 2 years. No, and it could get worse.
The king has been dethroned. Get over it.
No, I agree.
The Lakers even have a chance to win the...
Fuck no.
Okay.
No.
So
not as of right now, I'll say no, but they will be making a ton of roster moves, and we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If LeBron and AD both play 60-plus games next year, they're a playoff team. When was the last time either one of them played 60-plus games? Right. Without a substantial break in the middle of the season like they got during the bubble, which was, we all agree on this show, a fraud championship. I don't think Anthony Davis may have done it once. LeBron hasn't done it since his first year in LA.
Do star players want to play with LeBron now?
No. Yeah. You've seen Kawhi Leonard chose not to come to the Lakers. Paul George chose not to come to the Lakers. Westbrook, when he had the opportunity to come to LA in general, not just with LeBron, decided to re-sign with OKC. You've seen, there's a couple of others too. Guys from LA, guys from this city that grew up on Kobe's legacy that could have gone to play for the Lakers, a team that they love, that have opted out of wanting to play with LeBron ever since he dismantled. I think the damage was done when he went in and put a dagger in Dwayne Wade and Derrick Rose in Cleveland at that mid-season point and pretty much said, fuck it, this is my show. We do it my way. We play. I play with who I want to play with. Ever since then, guys have shied away from him.
LeBron to the Timberwolves. Would you take it?
Nope.
Really?
Nope.
Mike?
No.
Really? Okay.
No.
Just unequivocal like that.
Yes.
Okay.
I wouldn't even, if the Lakers called the Timberwolves tomorrow, if I'm Alex Rodriguez, I wouldn't even pick up the phone.
Jesus Christ. That guy's really,
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. There's not much I want there.
he's done a number on himself.
He really has. And it sucks to see. And nobody else wants to admit it because he's still chasing. Like, it'll be really cool when he passes Kareem in.
Will it be that cool, though?
Well, that's what the Lakers will, that's how the media will spin it. It'll be really cool when Kareem passes, or when LeBron passes Kareem in a Laker jersey.
Who the hell cares?
You know, like that's what he's chasing now. His time to win championships is over. That's it. That's all I got.
So, Denver.
Oh, yeah, I do want to touch on this. Denver got a new owner, the richest guy in human history. The Walmart family now owns the Broncos.
Richest guy in human history?
$70 billion.
Bezos is worth.
Well, I
like,
get in sports
Okay.
history.
Okay.
I mean, the next
I also think his
richest.
family chops it up too. Like, there's a bunch of Waltons where they spread it across.
Yeah,
but-
well, Walton Penner, which is the son and the daughter-in-law, are the ones that bought the team, and it's
Of the Walmarts.
Yeah, of the Walmarts. And let's just put this into perspective. Walton Penner family net worth, $70 billion. Next richest, Stan Kroenke, $16.7 billion.
And we've seen what the Rams have
And
been
you've
able
seen
to
what
do.
the Rams have done. So, by the way, if there's a way to bet on if Russell Wilson's going to get that 5-year, $250 million deal now, I would take the over.
They can also afford to keep pieces around him now, too.
So now I would put a little bit more stock in Denver than I have previously based on who's owning the team. Because they'll be able to do that cash over cap
Congratulations
trick.
to those of you who all shop at Walmart.
Is Elway still there?
No, yeah. Well, I don't think, do they take over this year or next year?
I don't know, but always like front office. So unless
Yeah.
they're scraping the front office, he should still be there.
Well, and that'll be the owner's choice.
Right.
It'll be
But
very
it's
interesting
John
to
Elway
see.
And the Denver Broncos. So like that would be a goofy choice.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if he's, like,
I mean,
If
Elway's
he's
brought in
considered a
2
success.
future Hall of Famers to come play quarterback for his team. And Peyton Manning and Russell Wilson. So
Yeah, one of them will win 2 Super Bowls, and the other one is Russell Wilson.
okay. And then our last topic of the day.
Yeah.
Is head coach cuts around the MLB.
Yeah, I just wanted anybody's opinion, and I think this was an interesting one for Gabe. Madden and Girardi both get axed in the middle of an MLB season. Does this even fucking matter?
I'm so confused about. So I saw Madden got like walk someone with bases loaded. That was a really poorly received choice on his part. I'm so confused what he did to get that early exit, because I know he's a
He
laid
lost
back
like
guy,
10 straight.
12 straight.
12 straight.
of course. And what his pitching, was he 0-4, or what is? How many home runs did he hit?
Madden's the coach, Gabe.
No, I'm totally aware of that. That's what I'm saying. It's just, it's
His
weird
point is he
that a
wasn't
guy,
playing.
that a guy who has World Series pedigree all over the place,
Yeah.
who's traveled and done it, unless there's something going on behind the scenes.
Is
you know?
this the ownership worrying that they're going to lose Ohtani?
I think they got to be freaking out that I have fucking Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and we can't even win a baseball game.
And Rendon and Syndergaard.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's got to be confusing as hell. That's for sure. I mean, I'm confused. I don't even watch it.
Well, I mean, so the logic is kind of there, right? If you have that talent and it's not winning, whose fault is it? The leader
the president of baseball operations?
or the
Homelessness?
manager? So, like, I don't know. The logic is somewhat there.
For me,
I disagree with firing probably a future Hall of Fame
head coach.
in the middle of the year, though,
I disagree. I disagree with the Girardi firing
as well.
for the same reason.
Yep.
Baseball has, and this is another reason why I wanted Toby Gardenhire on the show today, because I wanted to ask him, how much does that coach or that managerial role really get to do? Or is it truly There's, who is it for the Twins? Falvey and Levine. They're the ones that pull all the strings on players, really. And then are you just given a roster and going, give me the best lineup every day? And if he's really just giving the Angels
legitimately managing the clubhouse and the morale, and like it's more than just the lineup. I feel like baseball is more true than any other sport, that you're truly leading men.
That's my understanding.
Like football is truly X's and O's. Like you don't have to be a great leader. You can be a freaking dud, but if you got the X's and O's down, you can win on Sunday.
Yeah.
Baseball, man, that's a long season, 162 games. And if you get into a slump, if you lose 4 straight, 5 straight, 6 straight, you're turning to your manager or the star player on your team. And the Angels have a ton of stars, but do they have one that shines brightest that can get them out of a 5-game slump? Clearly not.
I'd like to know about Mike Trout's leadership abilities, because it makes me call that into question. Like, is he just too much of a quiet?
Well, word has it he's a horrible fantasy football commissioner. So whatever that's worth.
What's that? I don't know.
Oh, he was commissioner of a league that led to somebody getting suspended in the MLB because there were 2 guys in the MLB that
Jock Peterson and
somebody.
Pham. Oh, Tommy Pham.
Tommy Pham for the Reds. And when they played each other, Pham slapped Jock Peterson on the field on television
in pregame
warmups. And Trout was the commissioner of that.
There was a dispute in their fantasy football league, and it was because Trout was a horrible commissioner, basically. And like,
I mean, I've wanted to smack the shit out of Mike, and he's commissioned some of my fantasy football leagues, but it's never actually happened. So,
well, it's mutual too, because I've seen his face.
If that means anything, though, Mike Trout is not that great of a leader.
Yeah, I mean, for real, there's that. But I will say this about Joe Madden, because he was a Cubs manager, obviously, took us to the promised land, and I will say that it appears that his skill set lies more in sort of the motivating young players, like, because he's so good at manipulation.
Yeah, maybe not so much the stars.
That's what I'm wondering.
Ever since they ended their first run with Trout in LA when he was really young, there seems to be an apathy of morality in that clubhouse. Like nobody stands out to me in the Angels clubhouse as the guy that you were just talking about. Yeah. Let's go get
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
They don't have
well, it's gotta be Trout. Right.
But it's it's very evidently not him. Though. Very evidently not him.
Right.
He's just the best player they have. That's who he is.
And I'm not saying he's like
a bad person or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. He's very much just a person in the clubhouse. And then when they step on the field, he's just so happens to be the best player.
Yeah.
What about Rendon?
I've never had, as a leader, he's always been the best backup guy to the leader that you have, to the best player that you have, if you ask me, because where was he before LA? He was in Washington, right? And he was playing behind Bryce Harper. And when Bryce Harper, the fiery leader, Rendon backed up a lot of what he was he was the first guy in line to follow the leader.
He's the first follower.
Yeah.
Huh. I got to find this. I got to look in this. I'm so curious about what is going on behind the scenes.
Me too.
There's got to be something.
Yeah. So Madden, Girardi are both gone.
I don't think it makes a world of fun.
Do they get hired before the end of the season?
No.
Like if you're like the Pirates.
No. Does it? Because it doesn't matter.
Ooh,
it doesn't matter.
Twin. Well, we like Rock.
I like Rocco Baldelli.
Yeah.
Would I
more than Joe Madden? Like
you have young players.
You have a chance tomorrow to bring in Joe Madden,
change the mentality
as a special advisor, maybe.
Keep Rocco as manager.
Yes. Allow Rocco to learn from Madden, who is just in a special advisor role. Maybe a guy that's spending a lot of time not just with the Twins, but is going down.
What about Girardi? Same thing. I honestly wouldn't want Joe Girardi. Because I think the team that he needs to coach to be successful needs to be top 5 in the league in home runs type thing. And like,
if the Mets continue to Met, I would look at Girardi as the Mets head coach.
I like that. Well, let us know what you guys think about the head coach cuts around the major leagues, and if they mean anything.
I could talk about this all day, like for real. For some
next
reason,
week's going to be fun because of that reason. We're going to be able to spitball. And with that, guys, again, on our Patreon, all you have to do is ask a question. The questions that are the most expensive will get answered first. Yeah. So if you have a $10 question, you have a great odds of us answering your question on our show next week.
And I think, I'll give Gabe a little bit of a heads up too. I think we should all just pick 3 random topics that we care about, or whatever, and we'll work through those as well. We'll have some good content. It's not just going to be news.
Gabe,
next
if you
week.
really want, we can come back to the generational argument.
Well, I love that argument.
I do too, honestly. It really is a fun argument.
Yeah, but I think next week is going to be our best show.
I'm really looking forward to it.
For real, I think
we'll do some fun segments next week.
And I'll be a year older next week.
Oh yeah, happy birthday!
Oh yeah, that's right. I have to go pick up your cake from Costco.
And for my birthday,
get him a Jurassic Park cake.
Yep.
And for my birthday, I am going to see Jurassic World Dominion, and I highly recommend everybody else do the same.
Yeah, I'm gonna go see Top Gun this weekend, and I may come back with just a mustache next week.
I heard that in Top Gun Maverick, you can actually see the phone book that's sitting on the seat in the cockpit of the plane for Tom Cruise
has to sit on.
Yeah.
Hey, Tiny Kings, get your shine.
Yep. All 5'3" of you.
These movies are so appropriate for you guys, by the way. Like, I mean, for real. Nick, you look like you'd walk off set of Top Gun, and
Mike looks like a dino digger.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah.
With that, guys, we'll see you next week. As always, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, and Patreon, and MCN6 local cable. You can get that off Roku as well, Saturday at 10 p.m.
Yeah. Take care, guys. We're looking forward to seeing you next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. Oh, look, it's the dancing chick.
She's in the class.
How creative. Our producer's great. Oh, the cat. You calling Mike a pussy? Quit doing that.
Okay. You know what?
NBC. No relation to NBC.